Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Edelweiss Mutual Fund, and click on the bell icon for notifications.
Hello and welcome to Market Talks, a series by Edelweiss Mutual Fund explaining key concepts of Indian capital markets and also sharing insights of key investment trends in India. आज का कॉन्वर्सेशन टॉपिक काफ़ी यूनिक है. ये जितना ही सिंपल है उतना ज़्यादा नुआंस्ड है. In today's Market Talk session, we would be understanding basics of fixed income mutual funds. Hi, I am Shikha Sood and I am joined by Pranavi Kulkarni, Fund Manager with the Fixed Income team at Edelweiss Mutual Fund. So Pranavi, we have noticed that in India, a lot of people prefer fixed income assets for their investment choices very naturally, because that is something also ingrained in us, that we prefer public provident funds, fixed deposits, we'll prefer even a real estate because it gives us a fixed rental yield. And what is surprising, however, is that when I look at numbers for investments made by individuals into equity assets, more than 80% is invested into equity, and less than that, about less than 20% is into fixed income mutual funds. So I'm sure a lot that we can do to increase awareness about fixed income mutual funds, because they are not as difficult or complex.
Right. Shikha, I think you've hit the nail over there. So let's back up a bit. If you look at the household income savings of retail individuals, out of 100%, 50% will be in real estate,
Okay.
15% will be in gold,
Yeah.
and remaining will be in financial assets. And वो बाकी जो financial assets भी है ना, उसमें 42% FD है.
Okay.
And you have your PFs and your pensions, and mutual fund investments are only 8%. Okay, and this is like a very recent data. तो अगर हम उनको मतलब in that 8%, like you said, 80% is equities. So out of 8%, you are actually talking a meager savings going in fixed income mutual funds. So, and if you look at the mutual fund market as per se, if you have like 8% in mutual fund, and of that 8%, 20% is in fixed income. So there's a huge opportunity to explore over there. Just to give you a small statistics, I mean, a small history. If you go back, 1995 to 2000, that is when most of the mutual funds started launching fixed income funds. And between 2000 to 2005, they gained traction. And currently our mutual fund industry, around 57% is equity, and remainder is fixed income. And in that remaining, the retail participation is much lower as compared to that of the equity mutual funds. So I think you're creating awareness. We are creating awareness of these funds at the right time.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And since we've discussed that fixed deposit is so famous in India, let's just try to explain fixed income mutual funds using the parallel of fixed deposits. Now we're aware that fixed deposits can be applied or invested in for a certain set of period, and they come at a predetermined rate. However, in mutual funds, how this works essentially is you invest in a mutual fund. The mutual fund in turn will invest in a number of securities, right? So can you just draw a parallel and explain how fixed income mutual funds work vis-a-vis fixed deposits?
Right. So before we go there, I think what we need to understand is what exactly is debt market, right? So debt market will consist of government securities, SDLs, T-bills, and corporate bonds. Now, out of the total debt market, majority is government securities and SDLs. And the investors in this debt markets are life insurance funds, provident funds, and mutual funds. Just to give you a corollary between a fixed deposit and a debt mutual fund. So just like a fixed deposit, a bond, when I invest in a bond, it's like I'm giving a loan. I'm giving a loan to Government of India, for which Government of India will give me some portion called as interest rate, like byaj, per year, which will be paid to me either semi-annually or annually, or in terms of corporates, it will be as per the decided tenor. And on the maturity, I will get the entire principal back. right? So what happens, like you rightly said, in a mutual fund, one fund will invest in various securities of various tenors. So there are 2-3 parameters that you need to understand, basic parameters to understand, before you get into fixed income market, like what is yield to maturity, what is duration, and what is credit risk.
Sure.
So yield to maturity is actually the estimated total return that you will earn on a bond if you get into it currently at a market price and hold it till maturity.
Yeah.
Duration is a various tenor. So, a technical meaning of duration is in how many years you will recover the cost of the bond. But when you look at per se with respect to the bond market or the debt mutual funds, they are investing in various instruments of various tenors, and that, as we speak, we will go into detail on how it impacts the returns, etc. Another aspect that you need to look at when you are looking at a debt mutual fund is the credit risk. So, like GSECs and SDL, they are considered to be the safest because they are government instruments. Then we have AAA corporate bonds. But as you go down the rating curve, it's like a AA bond or a A bond, you need to be understanding that you are taking additional credit risk. And what that means is, the possibility of you getting your entire money back, the risk is lowest in AAA, and it goes on increasing tad bit when you go down the rating curve.
Okay, that's good to know. I guess it will be a good time now to understand how the returns work in a fixed income mutual fund, because while there is a coupon element, because of the nature of the security, which is it is listed on stock exchanges where the mutual fund is investing, those securities are listed, so therefore there is going to be a mark to market impact as well. So can you delve a little deeper into the return element, which is coupon plus your mark to market?
Right. So so basically you have accruals, which is what your current YTM is giving you in a mutual fund, fixed income mutual fund, and whatever securities you are at, whatever YTMs, that accrual keeps coming depending on the duration. Second aspect is what is the duration of your instrument and the modified duration of the fund that you have invested in. When you talk about returns, there will be two things that you will get. One, if the interest rate is going down, the prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
So you are also going to get, along with the interest, capital appreciation on the flows that you have put in that particular fund. And that is what will give you additional returns. Otherwise, if I take a bond today at 7%, which is giving me a 7% coupon, and I hold it till the end, assuming that all the interest that I get till the end of the maturity is invested at the same rate, I will be making around 7% roughly return. However, if I'm also able to get an interest rate, like, the prices of the bond goes up and the interest rate goes down, then I'll be adding some additional amount to my return depending on the duration of the bond.
Okay.
So, if to go a little bit into detail, I maybe should put in the concept of yield curve over there.
Okay.
Right? So, given the same credit standing of various bonds, let's look at GSEC bonds, and GSEC bonds, the tenor goes from 1 year to 10 year. Right? And if I have to plot the YTM of each of these bonds across the period, it will be like a rising curve.
Okay.
Which is actually showing that if I invest for 1 year, I'm maybe getting a lower return. If I invest for 10 years, I'm getting a higher return. So that is how this duration comes into play, right? And when the interest rates are expected to go down, obviously the capital appreciation that a 10-year bond will give you would ideally be higher as compared to what a 1-year bond would give you, because that duration checks the sensitivity of the bond to the interest rate movement.
Thanks Pranavi for that explanation, but I think it will be helpful अगर हम इसको थोड़ा practical way में देखें. So अगर मेरे पास 10,000 investment है into fixed income mutual funds और दो अलग mutual funds लेते हैं, fund A जिसका maturity है up to 1 year and fund B जिसका maturity या duration is up to 10 years. So अगर हम आज suppose Jan में है, January start of the year, और एक हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट एनवायरनमेंट में है और हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं बाय एंड ऑफ द ईयर इंटरेस्ट रेट्स फॉल होंगे. सो इन दिस काइंड ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट how would my returns be for both a short term, which is up to 1 year, and for the longer term, which is up to 10 years?
राइट शिखा, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया दैट जब इंटरेस्ट रेट्स नीचे आने वाले होते हैं तो हमेशा इट इज़ बेटर कि आपका ड्यूरेशन ज़्यादा हो, ओके, बिकॉज द ड्यूरेशन जो है दैट विल शो द सेंसिटिविटी टू द इंटरेस्ट रेट मूवमेंट. तो जैसे 1 ईयर अगर आप किसी चीज़ में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो तो आपका जो रिटर्न होगा दैट विल बी मोर और लेस इक्वल टू और अ लिटिल मोर देन जो आपका 1 ईयर कूपन वो फंड दिखा रहा है. बट अगर आप 10 साल में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, राइट, तो आपका जो सेंसिटिविटी होगा ऑफ द फंड टू द इंटरेस्ट रेट मूवमेंट, जो अभी हमारा रेपो है 6.5, अगर वो नीचे जाता है इन द नेक्स्ट 6 मंथ्स तो, और आपका जो 7.17 जो अब हमारा अभी का कूपन है ऑन द जीसेक बॉन्ड, वो जैसे नीचे जाता है बिलो 7%, तो दैट मच ऑफ एडिशनल रिटर्न आपको 10 ईयर बॉन्ड में मिलेगा. तो इट वुड ऑलवेज हेल्प फॉर यू टू गो इन टू हायर ड्यूरेशन फंड्स व्हेन द इंटरेस्ट रेट्स आर गोइंग टू गो डाउन.
Okay, thank you for that. So if I can summarize it, अगर interest rates fall होते हैं from here on, short term funds का ऐसा होगा कि when they have to redeploy, say after 1 year, if it's a 1 year fund, they will have to redeploy at a lower rate. So ऐसे इसलिए overall incrementally उनके returns कम होंगे. But longer tenure funds में ये होगा कि अगर interest rates fall करते हैं, because the longer tenure funds are already at a higher rate, so they would benefit from that, they would get a capital appreciation, therefore the returns there would be better.
See, one is capital appreciation and also you have to understand कि जो bonds अभी issue हो रहे हैं इस रेट पे, तुम लॉक इन कर रहे हो उनका कूपन इस रेट पे, राइट. एज यू गो ऑन ये कूपन तो आपका फिक्स रहेगा, और जैसे रेट्स होते जा रहे हैं, जैसे वो MTM कॉन्सेप्ट हमने डिस्कस किया, दैट विल कंट्रीब्यूट टू द कैपिटल अप्रिसिएशन. सो लॉकिंग इन अ बॉन्ड राइट नाउ एट अ पर्टिकुलर इंटरेस्ट रेट इज़ बेनिफिशियल, एंड कैपिटल अप्रिसिएशन जो भी होगा वो 2 साल में होगा, 3 साल में, 5 साल में, दैट विल बी एडेड बोनस.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for that. Also, now moving on to asset allocation. Now, a lot of our viewers would also be wondering कि क्या proportion of my assets should be in debt. अभी काफ़ी सारे rules हैं world over कि 100 minus your age should be your equity allocation. That means the age should be your debt allocation. या तो कुछ लोग बोलते हैं 60-40 rule, 60% equity, 40 debt, या 50-50 rule. So what would be your advice basis the different types of mutual fund options that we have available currently in the Indian context, and how should people decide on in which mutual fund should they invest in?
राइट. सो शिखा, दिस इज़ अ वेरी पर्सनल क्वेश्चन. हर किसी का पर्सनल गोल अलग है. मी विथ अ किड, माई पर्सनल गोल्स currently will involve my retirement as well as the future of my kids' education, as against someone who's already retired and his kids have passed out. However, to give you a gamut of funds that we have in mutual funds, we have a fund which matures in 3 months. That's a liquid fund. थोड़ा उससे थोड़ा आगे जाए तो we have the ultra short term funds from 3 to 6 months. Then 1 year के लिए we have money market funds, and beyond that we have duration funds. We have a short term funds of 1 to 3 years, and then we also have gilt funds and dynamic bond funds, and credit risk funds have also picked up in India over the last 10 years. So depending on my goal, I have to understand ki for what tenor I want to invest, right? If I'm comfortable investing for 3 to 5 years, then you might as well go for duration funds. However, if you're looking at preserving your capital for the next 1 year, then you go into for something between you double your funds between a liquid fund and a money market fund. So that assured that you will be getting so much return in the next 1 year when you need the money. Simultaneously, it is also important as an investor what credit risk appetite you have. Like if you are very credit averse and you're okay to get like that 7% coupon or 9 with capital appreciation or 9% return, then you go for GSEC funds. But if you're willing to take some credit risk where you're okay, your fund is investing into AA kind of papers, then you accordingly go into corporate bond funds or dynamic bond funds. So I think it is very crucial to first evaluate your requirement to go into, you know, fixed income funds. Now, what proportion of that, I cannot put a number to it, you know, minus this much you need to put in equity, minus that you need to put in debt. I think I would leave that up to you. But what I would think is you always have to understand that debt is for capital preservation. So when you feel that over the next 1 year you have this goal, on another 5 years, so that much of money, if you can put it for preservation, you know that it is going to give you that inflation adjusted return.
Thanks, Pranavi. And यहीं पे I guess the role of financial advisor becomes important, and उन्हीं को decide करना चाहिए कि for their respective clients कि कितना asset allocation होना चाहिए, equity में कितना debt में होना चाहिए, and कौन सा fund is most appropriate for the investor. In fact, also an important aspect is कि हर investor को अपना asset और liability या expense या goals match करना चाहिए, and which is why उनका experience of investing would also then become smoother and enjoyable.
राइट शिखा, दैट्स अ वेरी इंटेलिजेंट क्वेश्चन टू आस्क. जैसे यू नो अगर अभी आप चालू कर रहे हो फिक्स्ड इनकम में इन्वेस्टिंग करना, तो हाउ टू गो अबाउट इट. मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देती हूँ कि मैं अभी मुझे मैराथन दौड़ना है नेक्स्ट ईयर. तो मैं फर्स्टली मैं उससे कम्पीट नहीं करूँगी जो यू नो सालों से मैराथन दौड़ रहा है. मैं पहले थोड़ा फास्ट चलना चालू करूँगी, देन मैं थोड़ा दौड़ना चालू करूँगी, फिर मैं फास्ट दौड़ना चालू करूँगी, और फिर मैं ज़्यादा टाइम तक दौड़ूँगी. राइट. सो इसका एनालॉजी अगर मैं इन्वेस्टिंग में लेके आऊँ, यू नो मैंने कभी फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट नहीं किया है और मुझे अभी चालू करना है, तो यू नो ये फंड्स जो है ये प्रोफेशनल्स मैनेज करते हैं, तो दे नो व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. बट आपको अगर जानना है कि इंटरेस्ट रेट के अकॉर्डिंग आपके रिटर्न्स कैसे मूव हो रहे हैं, तो यू कैन फर्स्ट स्टार्ट विथ थोड़ा लेस टेनोर के फंड्स, लाइक अ लिक्विड फंड, अल्ट्रा शॉर्ट टर्म फंड, मनी मार्केट फंड. तो ये 3 महीने से लेकर 1 ईयर तक आपको पार्क करने के लिए अवेलेबल है. और जैसे ऊपर नीचे रेपो अगर होता है, या अभी तो नीचे रेपो होता है, तो आपको दिखेगा कि आपका रिटर्न कैसे चेंज हो रहा है, स्पेशली यू नो इन दीज फंड्स.
और अगर हम लेस देन 1 ईयर की सिंस हम बात कर रहे हैं, अगर किसी को इक्विटीज़ में इन्वेस्ट करना है बट इन अ स्टैगर्ड मैनर, अगर वो अनश्योर है, उनके पास एक लमसम अमाउंट है और उनको धीरे धीरे इन्वेस्ट करना है, क्या वो लेस देन 1 ईयर में डिप्लॉय करें अपना फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स में अपना सारा जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, एंड फिर वो धीरे धीरे मंथ ऑन मंथ अपने इक्विटी में ट्रांसफ़र कर सकते हैं. दिस इज़ समथिंग कॉल्ड एज सिस्टमैटिक ट्रांसफर प्लान, STP जिसे हम कहते हैं.
Yes, that's a fabulous point actually, Shikha. This is something that you know a lot of mutual funds also promote, and lot of distributors have brought in awareness about this. कि अगर आपको 6 महीने का व्यू है equity market के में कि मुझे you know अभी मेरे पास इतना पैसा है पर मुझे वो धीरे धीरे करके अंदर डालना है, तो for that stable steady return आप 6 महीने तक you can keep it, you know, in a liquid fund maybe, or you know you can keep it in a money market fund. So that will help you get, you know, a said return, and then जब आपको confidence आए you can keep shifting it to the equity.
Okay.
अभी 1 ईयर के आगे अगर आपको जाना है, जैसे आपको 3 साल के बाद कुछ पैसों की ज़रूरत है या 5 साल के बाद पैसों की ज़रूरत है, तो फिक्स्ड इनकम इंडस्ट्री में टारगेट मैच्योरिटी फंड्स भी है. The entire fund gets redeemed after 3 years or 5 years. So अगर आपको कुछ एडिशनल मनी है जो आपको इक्विटी का रिस्क नहीं उसे चाहिए और आपको स्टेबिलिटी चाहिए कि यू नो अकॉर्डिंग टू द करंट YTM आपको पता है कि मुझे इतना 7% या 8% मिलेगा, तो वो भी आप एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो. और एक बार आपने ये देख लिया कि मेरा पैसा अभी कैसे मूव हो रहा है फिक्स्ड इनकम में, तो यू नो हम सब हमारे जो स्टेटमेंट्स हैं वो मतलब जितनी पढ़ाई नहीं करी है उतनी तो हम स्टेटमेंट्स एनालाइज करते हैं अपनी. सो उसके बाद आप जान सकते हो कि ठीक है, यू नो ये फंड मुझे इतना दे रहा है, एंड देन यू गो एंड स्टडी अदर फंड्स. ओके, ये जो क्रेडिट रिस्क फंड है ये इसमें थोड़ा ज़्यादा किकर मिल रहा है, या यू नो गिवन द करंट सिचुएशन देयर इज़ सम अदर फंड दैट यू नो अ हायर ड्यूरेशन गिल्ड फंड which will give you a higher return. So that is when you start exploring those options.
आई थिंक ये रिस्क एवेल्यूएट करने में सेबी ने भी काफ़ी इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं, जैसे कि हम दिखाते हैं कि कितना ज़्यादा रिस्क है एक पर्टिकुलर फंड में थ्रू वेरियस डिस्क्लोजर्स. पोर्टफोलियो के भी बहुत सारे डिस्क्लोजर्स आते हैं, सो दैट कैन ऑल्सो हेल्प इन्वेस्टर्स असेस बेसिस रिस्क एंड रिटर्न कि कितना वेदर दे शुड एंटर इनटू अ पर्टिकुलर फंड और नॉट.
Right. So basically, Shikha, you rightly said our regulator has been on top and you know, this is one of a very crucial developments whenever हमें चाहिए कि one particular market is going to explode going forward, right? The opportunity is immense. तो उन्होंने काफ़ी checks करके रखे हैं, and you know, the 2-3 main risk in fixed income is, one is your liquidity risk, second is your credit risk. So liquidity risk को tackle करने के लिए उन्होंने बोल रखा है कि कितना % हर fund में होना चाहिए in risk free instruments like T-bill, G-Sec, SDL, right? They are highly liquid.
T-bills are treasury bills and
Treasury
SDL
bills.
are,
SDLs are state
Yeah.
development loans, that is the state government bonds, and GSEC is your government securities. तो उसमें कितना % होना चाहिए, because they are highly liquid, तो काफ़ी churning होता है. तो tomorrow अगर आपको liquidity risk है, कोई event है, redemptions आते हैं, तो आप वो बेच के अपने investors को पैसा दे सकते हो. Second is credit risk. Credit risk, you know, like I said, you know, a AAA bond is obviously safest, and as you go down the curve, the risk goes on increasing. So every fund has to declare. And we have certain parameters now where the fund has to declare कि okay, this is the credit risk I'll be taking. So अगर आप comfortable हो ज़्यादा risk लेने को, then you go in those funds. Otherwise you stay in the funds where you know you're comfortable कि मुझे कम duration चाहिए, कम credit risk चाहिए, मुझे सिर्फ अभी देखना है कि fixed income कैसे काम करता है. That is how you can evaluate.
एंड हाउ अबाउट वॉलेटिलिटी? हम जब इक्विटी में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, हम देखते हैं कि वहाँ पे काफ़ी उतार चढ़ाव होते हैं, वॉलेटिलिटी और वेरिएबिलिटी ऑफ रिटर्न्स काफ़ी हाई होता है. फिक्स्ड इनकम में भी थ्रू आउट वॉलेटिलिटी चलती है कि अगर शॉर्टर टेन्योर है तो यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट लेसर वॉलेटिलिटी, लॉन्गर टेन्योर होता है जो कि जैसे आपने बिगनिंग में समझाया था ड्यूरेशन होता है तो उसमें ज़्यादा प्राइस वेरिएशन हो सकता है.
So fixed income में one key pointer, and in fact the fundamental pointer is you know, interest rate movement कहाँ है. तो जैसे repo rate कहाँ है, अगर repo rate ऊपर नीचे होगा, वैसे you know जो YTM जो हमने बात की वो ऊपर नीचे होगा. जब YTM ऊपर होता है तुम्हारा प्राइस नीचे आता है, जब प्राइस नीचे आएगा आपका रिटर्न नीचे जाएगा. राइट. अगर ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी द एनवायरनमेंट जो अभी हम देख रहे हैं कि YTM is expected to come down, तो प्राइसेस ऊपर जाएंगे. अभी यू नो इफ देयर इज गॉड फॉरबिड अ सिचुएशन वेयर सडनली यू नो YTM start growing because you know you're anticipating maybe higher inflation or other parameters which drive these factors, then your returns will start getting impacted. Having said that, जो हमने बात करी कि जो 1 year tenor है वो less sensitive है interest rate movements को as compared to a 10 year tenor. तो जब भी ये repo rate ऊपर नीचे होगा, interest rates ऊपर नीचे होंगे, the volatility will be lesser in 1 year like you rightly said, and that will have a higher impact on duration funds depending on कि आप क्या duration run कर रहे हो. Like अगर आपका बहुत ज़्यादा duration है and you know the interest rates start trending higher, आपके returns कम होंगे and vice versa. You know आपका अगर duration बहुत ज़्यादा है, you know you see a correction in the interest rates, then you are going to make a lot more money than जो आपने fairly पहले estimate किया था.
So Pranavi, I would like to summarize this entire session with probably the benefits of investing into a fixed income mutual fund. And since of course I'm sitting with you as a fund manager, सबसे पहला advantage that I can think of is professional expertise. So fixed income mutual funds are managed by professionals. So वो काफ़ी सालों से ये कर रहे हैं, उनके पास वो knowledge है, वो qualification है. So they can decide कि depending on the type of mutual fund, depending on the objective of each of the mutual funds, कौन से सिक्योरिटीज़ में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए, कितना क्रेडिट रिस्क होना चाहिए, कितना मेच्योरिटी होना चाहिए ऑफ द सिक्योरिटी. सो डेफिनेटली प्रोफेशनल मैनेजमेंट इज़ अ वेरी बिग एडवांटेज. What else would you like to highlight as benefits of investing in fixed income mutual funds?
Like Shikha, just to extend your point of professional management, you know आपको diversification मिलेगा across securities, क्योंकि जो fund manager है वो एक security में नहीं डालेगा पैसा. He will diversify into securities of various tenors and you know across GSEC, SDL, corporate bonds या CP, CDs, etc. One key important point is steady returns. तो एंड इफ़ यू गो इन टू टारगेट मेच्योरिटी फंड्स, मतलब अगर आप यू नो 3 साल या 5 साल के टारगेट मेच्योरिटी फंड्स में जाते हो तो आपको एक फेयर एस्टिमेट मिल जाएगा कि आपका रिटर्न कितना होने वाला है. एंड ऑब्वियसली वॉलेटिलिटी अगर आप देखो तो वॉलेटिलिटी यू नो विल बी लॉट लेसर एज कम्पेयर टू इक्विटी फंड्स. ऑब्वियसली अगर रेपो रेट ऊपर जाता है या नीचे जाता है, इट विल बी 25 बिप्स, 50 बिप्स और 25 बिप्स यू नो इन द टेनोर दैट यू आर लुकिंग एट. And if that happens, तो आपका volatility obviously will be reduced to that extent.
And also another point probably that I can add is the minimum investment value, because if somebody wants to go ahead and invest directly, say in a corporate bond या तो a government bond, उसका minimum value काफ़ी high होता है versus fixed income you can start with very very minimal and basic amount.
Right, and I think our advisors and distributors would help us communicating this particular point to the end users and who form a key intermediaries to getting the funds to mutual funds.
So Pranavi, like we just discussed and you spoke of that fixed income में investment avenues में fixed deposits, public provident funds, ये सब काफ़ी famous है, so people are aware. But जो mutual funds हैं, they invest into debt markets. Now, what is this debt market?
So, Shikha, that's a very good question. So, debt markets is, let me tell you, हमारा government borrow करता है and our state governments are borrowing, that is GSEC and STL. Then corporates borrow करते हैं, एक तो वो loan लेते हैं बैंक से या वो bonds issue करते हैं, that is corporate bonds. After that, we have treasury bills, which is short-term borrowings of, again, the government. And we have CPs, commercial papers, which is again short-term borrowings of corporates, and certificates of deposits, which banks borrow. All these instruments, they form debt market ka assets. Who are the investors in the debt market assets? You have life insurance companies, you have pension funds, and of course, you have mutual funds. Now, in this gamut of instruments, the majority portion obviously is GSEC and STL, and corporate bonds would be around 22%.
Okay, thank you very much, Pranavi, for that. And we've covered a lot of ground on fixed income mutual funds today, and I am confident that our viewers would also go back and evaluate if they could allocate their fixed assets beyond the traditional investments and avenues and start looking at fixed income mutual funds. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, Shikha.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Edelweiss Mutual Fund, and click on the bell icon for notifications. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.